Hello and welcome to today's show, the weekly weather and horoscopes brought to you by Astro College and IAA. My name is Jennifer Barish. Thank you for joining me and joining in on the cosmic conversation that is happening around our energy this week, the week of February 17th to 23rd, 2025. This is the beginning of Pisces season. We are leaving the air and we are diving headfirst into the waters of Pisces. This is the last month of the astrological new year. So, if you look at the years from an astrological lens, being Aries is the first sign, Aries season begins March 20th, so that would be appropriate that we are in the last month of that year. And Pisces, being the 12th sign, is really the culmination of the whole rest of the zodiac, the other 11 signs. And we this month will be reflecting on all we've been through in the past year. Whoa, it's been a lot. Hopefully, you feel a little wiser, a little stronger, and have a little more threshold for all that is right now. You have had wisdom that you've gained in the last year since March of 2024. You know, your intuition, your instinct, your inner knowing has gotten stronger, and that's going to be called in this month. Pisces is all about that inner knowing. So I invite you into the water, into the depth, and into the mystery of believing in yourself, believing in what you feel, believing in your body, and believing in your knowing above all other things that you see and you hear. So we're going to get started with the moons this week. We will talk about the major transits. We will have a horoscope for each sign. But first, I just want to say, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to this channel. Help us to grow it. Help us to be found so that more people can tune in to the astrological weather, knowing what's happening, what's coming, and join in this conversation with us. So if you wouldn't mind to do that, it would mean so much. Thank you. Be sure to go out to the astrocollege.com website. I have an upcoming workshop in March on the nodes of the moon, also something called the draconic chart. I don't know if you've thought much about that system or if you've even heard of it before, but it's a type of astrological chart that you can cast that sets your natal nodes at Aries, at 0 Aries, and as we enter Aries season and we have planets going into Aries this year, we're getting a reset, and that gives your nodes a reset as well. And so I'm going to talk all about that in that upcoming training in March. And at Astro College, we have some great classes, an intro to electional, horary, and astrological magic that you can get as a package, really well priced. Go out and check that out at astrocollege.com. And then if you've been thinking about really growing your astrology studies, you want to do something from a more professional way, a more professional viewpoint, really wanting to learn from the best in the business. You know, the IAA is the oldest online astrology college, has been around since the early 90s, and the teachers there, they are bar none. They are top professionals in the field. And so if you want to go and learn from the best, go check out the classes. You can start out in the beginners courses. You can work your way all the way up, slow but steady, through all of the courses that it takes to get to an IAA diploma, and all of that is at the website. So go and take a look if you're so inclined, if you're so interested, and if not, grab a cold drink and just sit back for the next half an hour or so, and I'll tell you all about what you can look forward to in the energy this week. So first, thinking about our moons. Why do I focus on moons? Well, if you're a new astrologer, and even if you're not a new astrologer, sometimes we forget that it's as simple as noticing where the moon is every 2.5 days. And I'm not talking about moon phase, even though that can be very helpful, knowing about our full moon and our quarter moons. But I'm talking about what sign the moon is in. And you can even find this in your Farmer's Almanac that will talk about what sign the moon is in. It switches every 2.5 days, and it really changes people's moods, their attitudes based on what their sign is. It can give you a little lift. If it's a similar moon, it's in the same element. If you're, for instance, an earth moon and that moon shifts into earth, you're going to feel more grounded. On a water moon, you're going to be more emotionally supported. In a fire moon, you're going to feel energetic and more creative. And an air moon, more chatty, more talkative, more communicative, wanting to meet and greet with others. But just if you start watching that, you can really feel that energetic shift. Like right now, the moon is in Scorpio. I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 18th of February, and that moon shifted last night into Scorpio, and I felt like that things got a little quieter. Things got a little deeper, a little more intense, a little more focused. It was hard for me to focus yesterday to record this, but today I am in it. I am on it. I am doing my work. And maybe you have felt that way. Or if you're watching this later and you reflect back that, yeah, on Tuesday and Wednesday, I did feel a little more focused. That's that Scorpio moon. So it will be there until Thursday morning. So we've got most of the week in Scorpio. And then Thursday morning, things are going to shift. That moon moves into the next sign, Sagittarius, and the sky is on fire. All of a sudden, things get loud and bright. Sagittarius is ready to jump, ready to shoot off like a rocket. It's that centaur that is running from field to field off to the next pursuit, who can see the bigger picture. They are bringing their bow and arrow. I can't even think of what it's called, where you pull your bow back before you shoot your arrow onto the next project. So you may feel that shift, like something new is coming in on Thursday. That'll be Thursday morning at 7:55. Definitely a sense of optimism, a new mindset that you will have on Thursday, on Friday, and even into Saturday evening. And then it shifts again on Saturday night at 6:09. Now, I am on East Coast time in the U.S., so you'll have to adjust for your time zone. But that moon gets more serious. So maybe things were loud and bright on Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday evening it kind of comes a somber tone. You go more into a planning mode. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's practical, it's pragmatic. What are the steps? What are the rules? It's digging into something, but going step by step by step. Really thinking through how can you go about getting there and setting plans into place so that you can get there in the way that you need to. So it may be that over the weekend you felt like going out, it was time to play, and then all of a sudden Saturday night things get a little more serious, a little quieter, and on Sunday it's time to get all your work done, ready for the next week. So just notice that, just hear this and just let it wash over you like Pisces season, that water, and see what you notice as you move through the week. Okay, well, that is the biggest thing of the week, that we are shifting out of Aquarius. I noticed in one of my yoga groups that on Monday, the person told me that they just felt like they were at kind of a jumping point. And any time that we change, when we're in the last day of one sign, so we were at the end of Aquarius season on Monday, and we're ready to jump into the next sign, you may notice that 29-degree point is kind of like the pressure is on. We must make a decision. Something's coming to an end. Something is finalizing. It's just that feeling of like something's coming and we don't know yet. Maybe you felt that at the beginning of the week. Start watching that at the end of every sign that the sun is in, the last day or two before it switches to the new sign. And you may sense, how you take in that energy, how you are feeling it. And, maybe it's a little more intense for some than it is for others. Maybe you don't feel it as much, but you might start to notice someone in your circle, in your friend group, a coworker gets real tense at the end of a sign. And then you're like, okay, I've got a pattern there. I can watch my kids act crazy when it's 29 degrees Aquarius or 29 degrees Pisces or Aries, whatever the sign is that's getting ready to shift into the new one. So we are out of the air. We are diving into the water of Pisces. Pisces is the sign of the fish. The symbol are two fish and it's a circle, and I can't make the sign, but they are swimming in opposite directions, right? And it's like they are chasing each other's tails. And so let's think about that for a minute. If you have ever been snorkeling or scuba diving and you have had to wear those big fins on your feet, they make a loud splash. They are strong. They really move the water. You can swim so much faster whenever you've got the fins on. And so imagine if you're going in a circle, doesn't it kind of create like a funnel, like those models that will create like a tornado in the water and create like this little portal to somewhere? And it seems kind of chaotic and out of control as those fins are splashing, splashing, splashing in a circle, creating almost like a water tube or a water slide. When you go to an amusement park and you get in that water slide, oh, I don't like that one that's all covered up. I like to have the one that has the opening so you can see out to the sky, so you can tell where you are. Because if you're in that water tube that's all enclosed, here in Ohio we have Kings Island and we have Cedar Point and we have those water slides, and the one enclosed, I feel claustrophobic because I can't see where I'm going. I don't know where the end is. I don't know how long it's going to take. And in some ways you just have to trust you will reach your destination. Well, thinking about that idea, I believe, is kind of thinking about this Pisces energy. It's an inner knowing, it's a trust, it's a gut instinct that comes through to you. And if you have any friends who are Pisces, you know that somehow they just know how to get there. They go in all different sorts of directions, they're swimming around from here to there. If you're an earth sign, none of it makes sense to you because it is not methodical, it is not logical, it is not from point A to B to C. It has its own flow. And that can be hard. If you're a very structured or rule-oriented person, it can be a little unnerving because, like that water tube, you can't see, it's dark out, and you don't know where you're headed. So Pisces can do that. If we were going to say a high road and a low road, on the low road, Pisces energy is kind of a fogginess. It's we can't see, we don't know, we just have to trust, and that can be so hard to do. I have other words like hazy and unclear. It's foggy, like a deep fog in the summertime, and you can't see, and even you turn on your headlights for your car and you still can't see what direction that you're headed. You have to trust just what's right in front of you, and that's how we have to work our way through Pisces season. What is just right in front of us for us to do in this moment, in this hour, in this day. We might not know what next week will bring. We might not know what next month will bring. But one thing you can do is start to develop some sensitivity, some inner trust that you've got this, that you can do this. So Pisces asks us to take the wisdom of all the rest of the year, all those other 11 signs, and integrate that into, you've got this, you can do it, you know how, it's all inside. So low road of fogginess, haziness. High road is this like inner mystic, this inner knowing. Pisces is also the most compassionate sign, who cares the most. It's where forgiveness lies. You might find that you're feeling more forgiving for someone this month, or that someone is forgiving you. You may feel more connected to spiritual practices like meditation, like rituals, like prayer. There might be a sense of acceptance, of openness to something that you never felt that way, or you didn't feel that way. Maybe you've been angry about something and you've decided, okay, maybe now I can just kind of watch it and just let it be. Pisces, those waters, they kind of dissolve things. That water is in somewhere in science, and I think about my husband has an engineering background, and he'll tell me water is the biggest solvent, whatever that means to you. But it is true. Water is the cleansing agent. It can cleanse us from judgment. It can cleanse us from fear. It can cleanse us from the hold that we have on things, and in some ways we're forced to. So think about the opposite sign of Pisces, which is Virgo. Virgo is very controlling. Virgo wants to know every detail about what's coming. Virgo wants to make a plan. They have to follow their list. And Pisces says none of that. You just got to trust and go with it, baby. That's a lot. I have Virgo energy, and Pisces energy can be a lot. Um, I also wanted to think of it like, when we do free form art. So sometimes kids at school, rather than be given a coloring page that has the lines and the rules of how they're supposed to color through, they'll just be given a white piece of paper. And the teacher says, no, free form your art. You figure it out. Let it come from inside of you. Let it flow from your creativity, from your imagination. And so, in that same way, Pisces is asking you to do that. And that is a neat little way that you can connect with Pisces energy, is just get out a piece of paper and draw. Get out the markers and the crayons and be a kid for a minute and see how your intuition leads you. What is it that's in your mind and your heart, in your inner knowing, that you want to put down on that piece of paper? You will know the way, but it's kind of scary, right? So two fish swimming in opposite directions. I'm looking at my notes. That also creates a transition. And obviously, being the 12th sign, Pisces is the transition to the astrological new year for 2025. Next month, we're going to be talking all about Aries and fresh starts and all this big Aries energy that's coming in. Pisces is kind of that in between space. If you can imagine that water tube, that liminal kind of, you don't know, you can't see from here to there how you actually got there, a gateway, a portal, integrating all that we've learned this year. Our boundaries are dissolving as we're ready to go into the new. And doesn't it feel like we're headed into somewhere new, friends? I feel that so much. Everybody I talk to, it's like, yeah, we don't know where we're going, and it's awful scary. But my gosh, we are headed into new times. We've never been here before, which is, you know, uh, a truth. It really is. We've never been here before in this time, and it's something maybe exciting or scary. And that's why we do this astrology, so that you can know what energy is coming in, and we're all feeling it at the same time. So, this is the time to grab a friend and hold a hand, talk to someone else who's feeling the same thing that you're feeling, and figure out a way, like Pisces, to swim, to drift, to dream, to float through this period of time, and know that you are going to be okay until Aries season. It will come on March 20th. And, we just have to work our way through the water until then. Okay, so that is a big part of the week, and just noticing how life is shifting, how things might feel different, how maybe you're a little more open, a little softer, more willing to take on some of the hard news or deal with hard issues, or maybe just not as I'm trying to think of like boundaries and structure. Things don't have to have as much boundaries and structure at this time. And maybe that won't matter so much right now. So that is the week, the season. And then on Thursday this week, I said that moon shifts into Sagittarius. Well, we have a really positive aspect. Mercury is in square. Now, that sounds like something hard, and it can be, but with Jupiter, and any move that Jupiter makes, it's going to bring a bit of a blessing. So we have a blessing coming in on Thursday. And with Mercury, it's working on your mental processes. It's bringing you an idea. It's bringing you an epiphany. It's bringing you an aha about something. So something good is coming through. You're going to get a plan. You're going to get a download. All of a sudden, things are going to start to make sense, and you will have a map for how you're going to move through this season, how you're going to move forward, how you can handle all the things that are out in the world right now, all the changes, all of the directions, things are speeding up, or I don't know about you, but it feels like things are speeding up for me. And how do we handle that? Well, you are going to get your magical map, your treasure map, to be able to find your way to the next point where you're supposed to be, and that's going to come in on Thursday. And as always, these transits aren't exact, so maybe it comes through on Wednesday, maybe on Friday, but the last half of the week, be looking for that little gift, that opportunity, that good news that's coming in for you, because Jupiter is bringing you something positive. And then on Sunday, I feel like we have more good more good news, because Mercury is going to be trining Mars. Mars is the planet of forward motion. And guess what? He's moving direct. He has been in retrograde since the first of the year, jamming everything up so that we can't move. We're in gridlock. I felt that too. I don't know about you, that things just aren't working the way they're supposed to. Things aren't moving forward. Things are not progressing. It has just felt like it has been backwards, 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 really, since the first of the year. And that's true, because Mars has been retrograde. Well, Mars is moving direct, and Mercury is saying, hello, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the plan. Let's talk about how we can move forward. All of these energies are coming in to support you, so that all of a sudden you can put your proverbial car into drive, and you are moving forward the way that you need to. So if something in your life has been delayed or stalled or just hasn't been working, start to notice where things get a little forward kick, a little forward motion. And by next week, you're going to be feeling like you are cooking with Crisco. So that is really the biggest energies of the week, aside from the moon. We'll talk about the horoscopes in just a second, but I thought you might enjoy knowing some of the health tips and tricks from medical astrology. Now, I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. I just find this so fascinating. With my yoga background, I am so interested in wellness and ways that we can support ourselves. So be noticing Pisces season, what happens with your feet. It affects the feet, the toes. It affects our immunity, the lymph fluid in our body, all of our body fluids, noticing if you've got swelling, doing things to be able, it might mean that you've been too sedentary and you need to walk more. You need to be a little more active if you've had swelling. But noticing what's happening with our feet and our fluids during the month of Pisces. It can also affect, obviously, our lymphatic system, our pineal gland. And ways that we can support ourselves during Pisces season is to look at some herbs. You might try sage or nettle. Ginger can be good this time of month. Echinacea, dandelion. And you might look at foods such as spinach, things high in protein, almonds, dates, leafy greens, root vegetables, oats, and chia seeds can be foods that are supportive during this time. It's important to get plenty of iron. That's where the protein comes in. So even if you're not a red meat eater, finding ways like spinach and beans that have lots of iron in them, because we may lose extra iron this month. And then what else can I tell you? Another note that I have says take care to watch your alcohol intake at Pisces season or during the next month, because it can stimulants can be extra stimulating during Pisces season when we're in that mystical, magical kind of space, that liminal, we don't know where we're going, time kind of stops, and you want to be careful with stimulants. And alternately, you also want to take care with overeating, over drinking. We're trying to, in the northern hemisphere, warm our bodies, so all the warm drinks, warm teas that you can have, and warming your food foods, not eating so many cold foods like salads or raw vegetables, finding ways to get your nourishment through warmth can be good for you during Pisces because it is cold, it is wet, and you may feel that it's been raining where I am, and I feel both cold and wet. So I'm looking for ways like a chai latte, or spiciness to be able to warm myself. So I give that advice to you, and maybe that can support you somehow. But I am not a doctor. Those are just ideas and suggestions, and I will have more of those during our full moon meetup when we have the full moon here in the next month in March. I like to give all kinds of little tips and suggestions, and it is free in the Astro College community. So go check that out. We've already got it scheduled for March. I want to say, looking at my notes for March, it is, where is that full moon? On the 13th, March 13th at 7 p.m. So check that out. And now on to the horoscopes. You have been waiting, and I am waxing on. So these horoscopes, I felt like we want to see where Mars is moving in our life and where we're going to start to see forward motion and things starting to affect change already right now. Mars is slowing down. It's starting to come into its station, and by Sunday it'll start moving forward in Cancer. It's at 17 degrees of Cancer right now, and in a few weeks it will move on into Leo. But right now in Cancer, that Mars, if you are an Aries rising, now I like to do horoscopes by rising signs. I like the accuracy of them. You might also look at your sun or your moon sign and see what resonates for you. You may listen to all three and one feels stronger for you, and that is okay. Use the astrology how you need to. That's the whole point, is making it work for you and using the suggestions and the advice that feel sound and practical and helpful and wholesome for you. So Aries, Mars is coming direct in your area of home and family and foundations. So something's been happening at home. Something's been happening with family. Maybe there's been conflicts, real estate issues. You've been thinking about moving. Maybe there's been some instability. Solutions are going to start to come up. Things are going to start to resolve in the home space, or you've been thinking about remodeling, and those plans start to come into practice, especially over the weekend as we get into that Capricorn moon. You're going to notice you've got a plan, you know how to fix this, you're able to move forward. Something to do with home, with family, our roots, our nest, property related decisions, our ancestry, our roots, all topics there that are up for grabs this week for Aries. And then next we have Taurus. Taurus, Mars is energizing the part of your house, the part of your life, or your third house. That's what I'm looking at. That has to do with communication, with learning, kind of a student teacher vibe, and maybe something to do with your siblings. This really energizes your mind. Maybe you've been feeling a little foggy, Taurus. Maybe there have been some frustrations, some miscommunications. Maybe some projects have been stalled, and all of a sudden you get momentum. So Mars is working through the part of your life that has to do with your inner fishbowl, which is hysterical given that it's Pisces season, but it is. Your inner fishbowl is that environment. Like, for instance, do fish know that they live in water? You know, we know that we live in air, but we can't feel it. We just live, right? And so this area of life we're talking about is kind of your like fishbowl, the things around you, your environment around you. Something has been off. Communication has not been good. Conversations haven't been working. And now all of a sudden the waters are parting. Things become clear. The dust is kind of settling in the fishbowl, and you can see again. You can figure out, what is the heck going on around me? I know now. You know, you may find something that's happened with your neighbors is being resolved, because it can also mean that all of your local environments and things are becoming more stable, more solid, more dependable, more reliable, and you start to have a sense of, okay, I've got control of this. I know what's happening in my local environment, and that is Taurus. Next, we have Gemini. Gemini, this week you're going to be looking at money, your finances, but also your possessions, your self worth, things that have to do with what you have. Okay. You maybe have been struggling with resources since Christmas, since the holidays. Maybe you overdid it. You're going to start feeling that control coming back. You're regaining a handle on things. Maybe some money making opportunities coming up. You're feeling more confident. The tide is finally turning in your direction, Gemini. Maybe money was leaking through your wallet like a sieve or a spaghetti strainer. And maybe you were being treated unfairly at work. You were overlooked. Some job opportunity was there and then it just went away. Now you're feeling more confident. You're feeling more in control of your resources, your job, yourself, of your financial future. So this has something to do with your money. It is green lights, go ahead. Your car is driving forward. So look for those opportunities to stabilize your money, your self-esteem, and your confidence this week and next week. Next, we have Cancer. Cancer, Mars is impacting your energy, your motivation. Maybe you've been feeling a little sluggish, a little less than best, a little uncertain, a little frustrated. You're getting ready to get a boost in just your way that you shine, Cancer. It is time to assert yourself as we move into the end of the week. Feel free to take bold steps. Put your needs first. You're going to be feeling it. Your vitality improves. You're going to get a big boost of chi, we say in yoga, a sense of wellness, a sense of you can do this, you've got this. You are strong and on your game, Cancer. So allow yourself to release your grip, those Cancer claws of whatever you've been holding on to, and take yourself a little risk. It's your time to shine. Next, we have Leo. Leo, Mars is going direct in your area of life that is hidden, in your subconscious, in those inner spaces, with the skeletons in your inner closets that maybe you don't want anybody there. And that is okay, Leo. Give yourself a chance to rest. Maybe you've overdone it. Maybe you felt drained. Maybe you're just tired. Let your calendar be a little looser, a little less scheduled over the next week or two, and give yourself a chance to just recharge. It's R&R time for you, Leo. And you play hard, Leo. Let yourself rest hard. Imagine yourself as a goddess on the fainting couch with your fan and your bowl of grapes, and just let yourself soak it all in and enjoy the pampering. Maybe it's time to go and get a pedicure or a massage or some other way that you can support yourself to support your wellness, your immunity this week. Leo, dreams, intuition are going to be coming in for you, so you need to get quiet. Pisces can bring you gifts if you give yourself a chance to hear it, but you've got to get real still. You've got to rest. You've got to find a place of solitude in order to do that. So it is time for Leo the lion to go into his lair, to go and retreat into the den and take a little siesta for a bit. That's your forecast for this week. Next, we have Virgo. Virgo, Mars has something to do with your social commitments, your friendships, your community, your future goals, all your networking that you're doing, your hopes, wishes, and dreams, your aspirations. Maybe you've had conflicts with others. Maybe some group projects stalled, Virgo. Maybe you've just felt disconnected, like you are on an island by yourself. That all is getting ready to change. The connections are being rebuilt. People are going to be coming back in, opportunities open back up, and you are ready to push forward. This is really good for you. Virgo, you are being allowed to envision how you could do it different during Pisces season, and you can't always see that. Sometimes you are stuck in this step and this step and this step. Let's take a break from that and allow ourselves to reconnect into the groups They help us to see ourselves. They help us to see where we're going. They help us to see how we might do it different just by listening to other people's stories and journeys. So I hope, Virgo, that you will allow yourself to drift into dream a bit. You know, the South Node is also placed in Virgo right now. And that is kind of like a cosmic drain. We are getting rid of things that we don't need. We are emptying our suitcase and our backpack, and we're getting a little lighter for the journey ahead. And you can do all of those things by reconnecting with your people, Virgo. Maybe that doesn't make sense with me the way that I'm saying it, but you'll know it when you get there. Just go and reconnect. Go and find your friends. Go set up a lunch date. Go to yoga class. Go to the gym. Go to the places where your people are, Virgo, and you're going to feel so much better this week. Libra, this week is about work for you. Mars is powering into your 10th house, which is all about your profession. It's about your job. It's about your public image. It's about how you're seen in the world. And the gas pedal is on. It is time to hit drive. Maybe you're going into overdrive. You know, you are going to be seen, Libra. So if there are projects, promotions, leadership opportunities, expect breakthroughs. You may be feeling more ambitious, ready to take charge. You are feeling like, if nothing else, things are finally working at work. You are seen, you are heard. Maybe you felt a little ignored or on the back burner before, but that is all about to change. And I love this for you, Libra. This is really good energy. You are going to get so motivated. You're going to be able to see all the ways that you can move and thrive and push forward. So bask in it, Libra. This is a really good time for you over the next week, over the next month, as Mars continues to make his way forward. Scorpio, Mars is moving direct in your 9th house, encouraging growth and adventure. Maybe you've had delays. Maybe there's been uncertainty. You've been thinking about taking a class. You don't know what's happening. You're in college. You don't know where you're going in life. All of a sudden, you start to see. Okay. Maybe you've been questioning your beliefs. Clarity is coming. And you are going to be ready to take action on your goals, making future plans, making connections. Maybe you've been feeling a little lost, and now you will find your footing, Scorpio, and you're going to rise up like you mean it, because when Scorpio decides about something, they mean business. There is no wiffle waffle about it. And so, Scorpio rising this week with the moon in your sign, you are going to get hints into clues as to what your heart is telling you about the direction you want to go. If you're at a fork in the road and you've just not known which way, that's going to start getting real clear for you, believe it or not. Pisces, that water, you like the water. It helps you to go deep, and you're going to get a chance this week. You've been doing some soul searching over the past few weeks, I'm sure, and you're going to get a sense of, do I choose road A or do I choose road B? It's coming through, so watch for it. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you are going to receive movement in deep emotional, financial matters, intimacy issues, places where you've got really strong bonds and connections with others. Those have been broken, or those have been disjointed or not working. You know, places where you've been really close to people. It could be your parents, it could be your spouse, your sweetie, you know, it could be your best friend. Something's not been working, and that goes along with shared resources, places where, you know, you share money or property or possessions with other people. It could have to do with loans or debts. Something hasn't been working, and now all of a sudden you are going to see in the next week or two things start to resolve. So I would expect that you're going to get a phone call this week, or some type of communication, Sag, that you did not expect, some reconnection of a personal I keep wanting to say intimacy, but, you know, a bond with someone that you really love and trust and care about that you did not expect. And then all of a sudden things are just going to resolve, and those fish are just going to help fix it. I don't know how. That's how Pisces works, but the boundaries are, you know, going to dissolve. Things are going to settle. old wounds, old fights, old arguments aren't going to matter anymore. And you are going to deepen that connection and you are going to come together closer. If it's a place that you needed to have boundaries, you're going to do it better this time. You're going to figure out what those boundaries are, what your needs are, how to keep from letting them push you too far this next time. So, this is all topics about trust, about bonds, about connections, and where deep commitments are reformed or reconfigured in some kind of way that feels healthy and forward motion for you, Sag. Capricorn. Capricorn, Mars is moving through your house of relationships, partnerships, places where your people are, your commitments are. And maybe you have had some tension, with your loved one, with your significant other. It could be a coworker, somewhere where you have a partnership. You're going to start to see progress, Capricorn. Conflicts can be addressed now. Um, and let yourself be direct, but avoid any aggression. Let those waters just cleanse and clear it away. It will. It will help to dissolve those boundaries, and those relationships may pick up some speed now because you are able to express yourself a little more softly, a little more supportive than how you usually are. This Pisces energy feels really good to you, and people are listening to you. You can be assertive and clear, but in a soft, nice, kind way, compassionate way. And you are going to be able to lead this to the direction that it needs to know. So use this audience that you have with people right now during Pisces season, Cap, wisely for your benefit, for your growth, your advancement, your development, and really for everyone's benefit around you. And that's how you will start to see the next couple of weeks come through. And then we have Aquarius. Aquarius, Mars is working on the area of life revolving around your productivity, your wellness, your work life, your routines, your habits. Maybe you've not had any motivation to do things. Maybe you felt a little sick of it all. You are going to get your groove back, Stella, this week. Health routines that suffered during the retrograde period can be restored. Your exercise, your diet, your overall well being is going to improve. Workplace tensions will begin to ease. You're going to just notice that day to day life gets a little easier. It's not as hard as it was, say, in January. You are going to just notice that things ease up and day to day things you get back on track with. And that's what you can look forward to, Aquarius. Then we have Pisces, last but not least. Mars is working on your house of creativity, of love, of romance, of just having some plain old fun, Pisces. So allow yourself all those passion projects, your hobbies, all of your creative pursuits. Listen to music, watch movies, and anything that's creative. It's a very fertile time too, Pisces. FYI, if you don't want a Scorpio baby in the fall, make sure you use protection. But you can expect that this is a very fertile time as well in all of your pursuits. It's a time to embrace joy, to take a romantic risk, to express yourself, and just have fun. Swim, drift, flow, frolic like the beautiful fish you are, Pisces, because this is your season and you can enjoy it and just soak it in. Just soak in all of that Pisces has to offer, this culmination of all the other 11 signs. With Mars going direct, we're all getting a boost of momentum, of clarity. Places that we've been feeling stuck, all of a sudden we get unstuck and it is forward motion. We are off like a rocket. And honestly, the last week of February is the week of the year when we have everything pretty much in forward motion. All the planets are moving direct. I don't think we have any retrogrades. Correct me if I'm wrong in the notes, but I know that Venus is going to go retrograde in early March. And so through the rest of the month after Sunday, we've got this period of time where everything is kind of chugging along. The train keeps on going. So if there's something that you need that momentum to push forward, it's a really good time as we head into next week. So make your plans now through this week. Thank you for joining me for another weekly weather forecast. I'm Jen. It has been my pleasure and honor, and I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Bye, friends.